When Nietzsche said 150 years ago, God is dead, it was said that he dropped the bombshell into the 20th century, throwing it from the 19th century and even into the 21st century. Is the kind of behavior from an idealistic country like America that we saw in Abu Ghraib really only a symptom of something that is so much a part and parcel of America at this time?
Yes. You mentioned Nietzsche. He was a philosopher of the late 1800s, and he did say God is dead. He got reprinted in Time magazine in the 1960s because he was very popular then, kind of a hero, still is, for many people who think that way. But the remarkable thing is that he was also called by some the father of 20th century theology. In other words, he was a theologian in the view of mainstream Christianity in America and other places. And one of the things that we're seeing here is a failure of the churches within Christianity to combat this disintegration of the moral fiber of the society. So it's, Nietzsche has this effect in the popular culture, but he has had remarkably, and he was echoing what others were already thinking, he probably got to the pen first, he had a remarkable effect through the supposed bastions of moral and spiritual strength in America, and as I said, in many other countries too.
What is the turnaround here? It was thought when America was founded, going back to the old Puritans in the 1600s, that they were founding a city on a hill that would become the kingdom of God. Is America, in fact, the kingdom of God?
No, America is not the kingdom of God. It's a good thing, too, because the kingdom of God wouldn't be worth much if it looked like we look like sometimes, or America looks like sometimes. But America has been, as some historians have said, the world's last best hope for human government. But Winston Churchill, a very perceptive man indeed, once made the statement. He said, democracy is the worst form of government except for all those other forms that man has tried from time to time. The bottom line is, as good as America, or even Britain, which was the other great democracy in the world's history, as good as they have been in their apex of moral strength, they are but a bad shadow of the greatness of the kingdom of God that will rule this nation for 1,000 years under Jesus Christ, starting very soon.
Was America supposed to rise up, according to the Bible, as a great nation that you could actually predict would happen, was actually thousands of years ago predicted, and would fail, and it would mean that God himself would have to set up a government, that God would have to intervene and actually bring a new kind of an existence,
God
kind of a freedom.
God did not say that America would fail. He has tested every nation on this earth, but America has been, because it is descended from one of the tribes of ancient Israel, not the Jewish tribe, but the other tribes, it is descended from that. It is supposed to be a model nation, as ancient Israel was supposed to be a model nation, but the choice was up to the people, to the nation. Will you do what God says? He says in one spot, oh, that you had such a heart in you that you would obey my commandments and you would be the example I want you to be to everybody else. Now, ancient Israel didn't have that heart. They had a bad heart. America has two hearts, and one of them is a bad heart, and if it overpowers the good heart, then eventually we'll just have the bad heart. America has this great challenge in front of it, but believe me, lest any other nation become a little bit smug in this, the same principle applies across the board, around the world, on every continent.
There's really no one to replace America. If America doesn't fail, doesn't succeed morally, no one else is there more moral than America to step in. As a result of Abu Ghraib, many people are searching their sense of where is the world going to go. After Iraq, what next? America and the world faces a dangerous time is the subject of a recent edition of the Good News magazine. It's a magazine of spiritual understanding. Ultimately, all these situations on earth are going to work out, and man is going to learn some great lessons, and the kingdom that was referred to, the kingdom of God that Jesus Christ himself talked about, is going to come. So you can read about those spiritual issues and this kind of a topic like we've been discussing in your free subscription to the Good News, and you'll see an ad for that. And do also ask when you call in that 800 number or go online to tomorrowonline.org for this fascinating and interesting, stimulating talk about the United States and Britain in Bible prophecy. It's in a 48-page format, magazine format. You'll be absolutely stunned with the information in it that makes what we find in the Bible immediately relevant to what's going on in the world and America's position today. Be with us again next time on Tomorrow.